that's my shit. Turn that up. That's my song right there, baby. Yeah. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail. If I could, yes I would. I surely would. What the fuck's so funny? I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. Hammer. I like that. If I could, yes I would. I surely would. I eat my linguine with clams, 'cause it slams, damn it slams, linguine and clams. I puff Hawaiian in Beijing with mailing, sweet mailing in Beijing. This motherfucking phone. I got a grandfather clock that says time's up, boy. Put you on your route like a wind-up toy. You ain't seen shit from P. Don't let me get comfortable. I fuck around and make history. My freestyle's delectable. 16 smack you. More impeccable than the Sistine Chapel. Everything I do, peace, homie, I'm a true beast. Never turn a new leaf, fuck up pen and loose leaf. You can spit that same old written shit you bit, but still can't get your lips around the tip of my. You're an actor. The script writers created you a character. Now you feel obligated to imitate it. But you ain't Tupac, and this ain't a cartoon, homie. I don't need 2 Glocks, I throw a harpoon. I expose cocksuckers extorting trillions, killing innocent civilians, torturing children's. Now I got Mayor Nutter mad at me. Bullhorn and City Harley made the pigs kidnap me. They want me dead or locked in jail with no bail. Locked in jail, but they will fail. Damn right. Don't let them say I wrote a note and wrapped the rope around my throat. That's not my boat. No, no. Fuck what Tom, Dick, and Harry said. Wilma never married Fred. Gary Webb blew the whistle. Feds murdered Gary Webb. Criminals are fleeing from the scene. Better hurry, chase them. It don't take Columbo, Matlock, or Perry Mason to figure out the mystery that has stunned them, making the little riddle into a big conundrum. If you want a little peace, kill the little beast, or poor defenseless friend in the Middle East. Instead of lighting little rockets from a bottle top, throw a cocktail at your tent, scream Mazel Tov. Young tykes throwing rocks at tanks is instrumental to my peeps who own stocks and banks. I run a multi-trillion-dollar industry, interrupted and you could get corrupted tremendously. That's just a warning, not a threat, plus a favor. Participate in the study, don't forget, sign the waiver. There will be stiff penalties in court for anyone caught with Hawthorne, Berry, or Motherwort. And St. John had intentions like snow, but he didn't meet the muster of the men in white coats. Prozac and such are much better alternatives, considering the benefits, not to mention all the returns it gives. Clients are treated with the greatest respect, as long as they don't try to pay us with a personal check. And some of our doctors lack the patience to be waiting for a customer. It's just an inconvenient decoration. We want to get you in and out real quick and schedule you to come back to make sure you're not. Well, we want to get you in and out real quick so you can enjoy the big medical industry dick. The company would have my head. CIA? I'd be dead. DOA? If I said those things I never said. No, no, no. When you don't keep things on a hush, silence is golden. You get touched like Ted Olson. Such and such. Fuck you very much.
You know, they're gonna, even though, you know, it's illegal for you, they're still gonna be profiting off of that because they got the market, you know, they got the corner on the market there.
Well,
they got the monopoly.
And you know, it's funny because, well, not really funny, but from a street point of view, okay, I was told around here that as soon as we got over there in Afghanistan and started occupying the poppy fields, we started seeing a lot of
increase.
Well, not with heroin. I'm talking about with prescription painkillers.
Mm-hmm.
That's increased quite a bit.
The doses have gone up. As far as the milligrams, you started seeing like 30 they call them Perc 30s or Percocet 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Started seeing Percocet 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the
that's
opiates,
the same thing they did with the Oxycontin things.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah. The opiates have increased, and I'm not talking about writing prescriptions. I'm talking about going out on the corner and getting them. That increased. So more people obviously are getting them through prescription.
Look, it's a pyramidal design, because they'll get you on the perks, and then you grow such a tolerance to the perks, and then you need something else, and what you're going to graduate to next, and eventually it's going to be the oxys, which is just a pharmaceutical heroin.
Yeah, and actually,
Big Pharma gets their hooks in you one way or another.
And then when you can no longer afford that expensive designer pharmaceutical heroin, you turn to the real thing, which is not even the real thing, because like my father he dabbled in it. He said the heroin today is, you kidding me? It's junk. It's nothing. Like, I'm not even anti-heroin. And it's just like capitalism in its true sense. This is like true poppy seed waste going around today.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they synthesize a drug if it isn't beneficial? It certainly is in its right doses. Anything could be a poison. You can die from, water toxicity.
Yeah.
You eat 10 potatoes, you can get a toxic effect. Unfortunately for these suppressors, you can eat a pound of weed and you probably won't even need a hospital.
Right.
Over the course of a day, you really can't overdose on the weed, but like a judge ruled, and a judge stated in his ruling that you can't overdose on marijuana, yet you can become toxic from 10 raw potatoes.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that, regardless of, if somebody's pro or not for, a particular drug use or, medicinal route they're going to take, it shouldn't matter by the state to say, something or another is legal or illegal. I think
what
that,
an
individual,
right.
It should be their right, regardless. I mean, if it's a victimless crime, if you're not stuck there, cooking meth, with your kids.
And that's when you're out of the game, when you can't acknowledge that, number one, they're basically depriving you of an innate human right, God-given, or whatever you believe in, just a existence bestowed right. When they deprive you of that and you go along with it, that just creates a breeding ground for them to do anything they want if they do it right, incrementally.
And who's to say that, the fact that they incarcerate people for these things is ridiculous.
Victimless crimes
victimless crimes, and it's a matter of seeking whatever help that person may need, medically.
Meanwhile, you have rapists getting out after 3 years and committing the same crime. And,
exactly.
and mothers are taken away from, parents are taken away from their children, who are then put in the CPS and, with good probability abused somehow mentally, physically, emotionally, and then they have the parents in jail. So they just break up the family unit.
Indeed. And, that's...
It's slavery. It's slavery in a stealth sense because it's just it's what you do to slaves, time immemorial. You separate them, and you fear-based, trauma-based mind control them and whip them into shape. And that's what they do here. They like to break up the family unit.
The New World Colony.
Mm-hmm. New man.
Yeah. And, people...
Android. You connect it to your phone now. You're the new man. It's a hybrid.
The funny thing is when you said that, man, you called me out because I was, my buddy texted me from work. And,
Wait, repeat the last part. It was,
oh, my buddy, a friend of mine, good friend of mine, texted me, from work, inquiring on my leg, how I was feeling and everything. Los Zilla. Good old Carlos, and when you said that, we're androids connected to our phones, I'm sitting here texting away. So guilty as charged.
But just the name, it's hilarious, And then you look at the robotic agenda within the music industry and the film industry.
I like to do the robot dance, though.
Yes, if there is anything about robots,
they're going to be fucking integrated to their PlayStation, whatever it's called, in 30, 50 years from now.
Oh yeah, you'll be injecting the game in the crack of your ass.
Yeah,
in about 20 years.
Where's this memory card go? I'm still lost.
It's kind of tiny, so your guess is as good as mine.
They're already talking about video games that
virtual reality.
Yeah, and it's insane. But you look at the utilization of these drones by the military, and it's
if you look at these things too, you can go to you can go to like a Franklin Mills Mall per se, and I'm sure they're everywhere up here. And the Army has a center, a video game center, and a lot of them, they design a lot of these games to just prep because it's basically the same functionality as the actual aircraft that drop the bombs. These video games, it's just practice, they were on G.I. Joes in the 60s getting kids, G.I. Joe, a real American hero,
Yeah.
They made kids join the Army. And now, G.I. Joe, what's it stand for?
Life of Cannon Fodder.
Yeah. Now G.I. Joe stands for something like Globally Integrated Joint Operations Enforcer or something. They changed them all up. Now he's like a global. He's not America. It's the global, integrated
UN
joint
blowjob
operations. It's sad, especially when you look at the timeline and how things happen, and now how they're happening exponentially, and as the bread and circus increases.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm taking like little notes for the description because I'm gonna put this podcast up on YouTube.
Cool. I thought you were gonna say, "I'm sorry, wrong meeting."
Yeah. Oh, I need to be down at the docks. Right. But what did you say G.I. Joe stands for now? What was that again?
It's something like you'll get corrected, as you know, but it's like Globally Integrated Joint Operations Executive, but I say execution.
Oh, is that like from that G.I. Joe movie or something?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I've never seen
G.I. Joe.
I've never seen it, although I was as a kid, I was a fan of the cartoon.
As was I, and He-Man. I have the power. That was Masonic, straight fucking occult.
But
straight
Donna,
up Voltron gal myself.
Donna and Tracy.
There's
G.I. Joe.
all-seeing
But we
eyes
did
all
talk
over.
about
The
we did
He-Man
talk about
movie.
that earlier.
Yeah. I've never seen the He-Man movie, but I guess there's a lot of little
I mean, the
meanings
original
in that.
cartoon.
Yeah,
I
the
watched the
cartoon
cartoon.
itself. I
Yeah.
mean, you got the freaking,
You see the Egyptian all-seeing eye and shit, pyramids. Oh, it's crazy.
there's, the gray skull. I mean, that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
itself. I mean,
I'm gonna take a bathroom break and refresh my drink here.
All right. Well, there you go. See, that's the great thing about podcasts.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You can just get up and go. So, yeah, you go do your thing, Payday. We'll hold the
All right.
fort down.
You got it. 4 minutes.
4 minutes, and Payday Monsanto returns, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thank you.
All right, brother. Yeah, I speaking on this, like older cartoons and all of the symbols and things of that nature. And I did see a little clip of I think it was on YouTube, of course, of an older G.I. Joe cartoon where it showed a plane, but they were like jets, and they were like zeroing in and going, flying through the city almost at like street level, and then they took up and went almost like straight up in the air and like fired these missiles at these two big tall buildings that looked eerily like the towers. And then
Wow.
and then you seen there was it might have been the same one, these towers actually like coming down. It was very crazy. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that, and I can. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts when you look back now, and I do that with music a lot. I'll be listening to some older metal or whatever. I was a huge metalhead, when I was younger, and I still kind of am, just older now. But I've noticed, a lot of the lyrics are very anti-establishment, anti-war, calling out the New World Order, all these little, catchphrases that I'm now very much aware of. It's crazy.
Yeah, I find myself examining things like that and some, videos or anything that, I happen to be watching, because I don't watch a lot of TV or movies at all, but, I recall, certain lyrics and whatnot, and, I find myself, tearing things apart, even more so that I even go back and see if there's any backmasking going on, in some of these tracks. I know I was one of those weird kids that would listen to Blue Oyster Cult backwards to see if there was anything going on. But, when you have groups like the Beatles, for instance, that would do things like that, Gene Martin would put those kind of tracks in there and utilize that. Even in the forward track, they were like, oh yeah, we recorded a backtrack and we put it in reverse, or we cut a bunch of the thing, tape and put it all together in that way, and different techniques that they would utilize. Got to tear everything apart and digest it in little bits and pieces to get an understanding for the full picture that it's painting.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to I was thinking about myself and how I look at things, and I try to look at them more at the root, not the fact that like why is society so complacent? Why why this, why that? I'm like a 2-year-old again. I think more adults need to be acting more like 2-year-olds and asking these questions. Why? What is that? Who is that? What does he do? This and that. I think we'll find that we'll start seeing things that we may not want to see, first of all, and start coming to truths that we may not want to be aware of, but it is it's a painful process, the whole obtaining knowledge. I think in this aspect, when you start looking back, it's painful. I mean, people don't like to be told that they're wrong, first off, in a direct sense, let alone to look back and realize that the last 30 years of their existence, or their entire existence period, they were lied to, they were duped. And because of these lies, such as my father, who was in Vietnam, he still will not come to terms with,
That's a breeding ground for the cognitive dissonance that many are afflicted with.
Yeah, he still can't come to terms with the whole Gulf of Tonkin thing, because I think deep down he doesn't want to understand it, because the mental anguish and the hell that he went through over there all of a sudden becomes a lie. It doesn't become so patriotic anymore. It becomes,
my pop used to get almost violent with me when I would mention Twin Towers demolition, Building 7, which he knew nothing about. We almost came to blows one time.
Yeah,
I think approaching things. I mean, I've always been a person that's wanted to know the truth, regardless of my existing conceptions of what I've been conditioned, indoctrinated into believing. I think all of us, at least here, have been that way of some sort. Of course, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation if we weren't. And, just regardless of how painful it is, that truth has to be known. It has to be put out there. We can't all hide from the truth. I mean, the people that have been projecting this oppression, this tyranny, and enslavement of mankind, have been running from that truth, obscuring that truth, and it takes individuals, to dig, uncover that, and expose it, regardless of, the repercussions, like the repercussion of speaking out and being a voice of dissent. I mean, the government will come down hard on those that reach, an effective amount of people. Is that going to silence truth? Hell no. Because there are other people that is going to take up that shovel and dig for the truth regardless. It's like when I was sitting at a party one time, and I always get in these didactics with individuals, and they always, that's the conspiracy theorist or whatever, and this individual is like, well, I worked at a naval crane facility here in Indiana, and they were on cleanup detail or crew. And he was explaining, he's like, you really don't want to know the things I've seen. I'm like, why not? I think that I want to know what kind of things that, will be an obstacle to deal with later on down the road if I'm ever confronted by it, if the people are ever confronted by it. The explanation of don't donate your cadaver or your body to science, because these military bases can utilize your body as target practice for their new tech toys. Some of the things that he was describing can be quite disturbing, quite upsetting, but to know that these kind of things can be employed because they're being designed, they're being built to do exactly that. I mean, it kind of gives you a heads up to turn a blind eye to things. It doesn't help resolve your situation any better, because eventually down the road you're going to have to be, you're going to deal with the confrontation of the fact that's coming down the road. to say. I mean, people can bury their heads in the sand regardless about the situation, and now, some magical papers signed that, now I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to say anything dissenting because, they can arrest me. I mean, that's been the price that we've all, have faced, have been confronted by for so long. I mean, ever since man had the ability to speak their conscience, to speak their mind, there's been confrontation. There has always been a situation where if you go against the grain, the mass majority of people are going to go against you because no matter how unpopular the truth you speak. So regardless, there's always going to be somebody taking that baton of truth and this great relay of passing off information. Regardless of the intimidation tactics that we're going to be confronted by, even more so because we've always been confronted by them. But, when you think about it, you take and examine people that have stood up over time and look at the fact that, their bodies might be extinguished from this realm of existence and maybe met their demise in the most heinous of ways. It's not going to stop the truth. The truth is, speaks for itself. And we're just vessels uttering these words, this sentiment. And, the ideal, I mean, that's not going to die. People aren't going to, just forget about, true liberty, true freedom. Just because some bill is passed. Yeah, it might silence some people. Some people might be intimidated and walk away, but...
Makes me want to scream louder.
Yeah, exactly. It just emboldens me, my voice, my willingness to, put my neck out there even further. I'm like, I do have a pretty neck, but I'm going to keep it. I don't care. And I'm going to continue to utilize the voice that resonates from that.
The more I get a backlash, when I speak out about something, the more I'm inclined to speak out about it.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be if you go to jail in certain countries for asking questions about a historical event, then there's got to be a problem there.
Exactly. I mean, there's got to be a problem when you're incarcerating bloggers and political voices of consciousness. So,
This NDAA, it sounds like an alphabet soup created by CFR minions who bow to Queen Beatrix ilk.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see it being a total construct of what derives from these, the meetings of the ball. I mean...
I think the crux, though, is the usury. That's my, Monsanto, it's the usury. It gotta go. It's gotta go. That's why they want to wipe out Islam, because it forbids usury.
No doubt. And, even if they utilize or continue to utilize the construct of usury, even in, say, Judaism, every 7 years you're supposed to forgive the debt of a person during Jubilee. Yeah. And that doesn't happen. That's not occurring.
I mean, they tell you in the Talmud that, to charge interest to a Jew is forbidden. But you may charge interest to non-Jews. You can do a lot of things in the Talmud to non-Jews that you just can't do to Jews.
Boy, talk about a segue from the NDAA, stay with me, to the Jews.
Well, it's a Talmudic war, my brother.
Yeah, because, you might as well stick your neck out and put it on the guillotine when you start talking Israel.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, it depends to what extent you're eloquent.
Right.
If you start saying kill all Jews, or sound like you're coming across like a rabid, quote unquote anti-Semite, they'll make you into a kill all Jews crowd.
We'll look at, individuals that are speaking up, like, rabbis. I mean, speaking volumes of truth. And
Brother Nathaniel Kapner, that's my man.
Look at the fact there are Jews that are speaking up against Zionism, and I happen to be one of them. I mean, I don't necessarily follow the doctrine or anything. I'm such a naughty Jew or whatever, but, the fact that, the diaspora did happen for a reason. I mean,
Yeah. Well, see, I'm of the mind, Don. I don't. Are you you're not a practicing?
No.
I'm of the mind Judaism is Satanism.
Up on little babies or anything like that, but, no.
Right. I would say, like, Judaism is Talmudism or Kabbalism, and that's Kabbalism is Satanism. So I
study a little bit of everything, but the fact of the matter is, even those that call themselves rabbis, that, study these things, will tell you what's going on in Israel. It's not Judaism. That is straight up Zionism, and it's bullshit.
Well, many rabbis were moyals, right? And moyals like to suck the blood from little babies' penises. So I don't trust none of them.
And the room goes silent.
No, that's just me. I mean,
why cut up on a baby in the first place? When I first
saw the rabbi suck the blood from the baby's penis, that turned me off to, I was already turned off to Christianity and all the other organized murder, crusade, murder, kill, behead religions. Judaism took a shit and out-popped Christianity, because that's just it's a construct of Judaism. It teaches Christians to turn the other cheek so they can get punched in the face by the Jew. It's a fairy tale they wrote.
Well, when you trace it all back, even the stories that are prevalent in Judaism traces back to
it's Babylonian text perverted. Yeah, it's Sumerian text perverted.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the stories of Enki and Enlil. I mean, that's all you need to know, folks. I mean, look at the story of Gilgamesh, and look at these stories where they originally originated from, where they really are derived from. Every civilization will retell it a slightly different way, but it's where it comes from.
It's piggyback from who knows, at least 10,000 years ago. But there's pyramids on the floor of of the coast of Japan. So
there's pyramids that are all over China that the people just don't realize.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Look at the Drupa stones, where they come from. That's where they come from. Well, we're hidden,
Crazy.
Who knows where they're actually from? But, you see all this information that has been suppressed so long. I mean, everything from the Drupa stones to these Chinese pyramids, and pyramids aren't just, just a regional thing to Egypt. I mean, they're in all kinds
over South America. They're everywhere.
And look at the Nazca lines. I mean, starts to paint a real different story than what we're indoctrinated, to believe. And just a lot of knowledge has been suppressed because of the conquesting religions.
You ever see the big alien on the cliff? He's waving, but they paint it like an alien. Like, come back. His name. They penned the name for him. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, it's like it's near. It's part of the Nazca thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an alien. It's a figure, strict stick figure. These people could paint. It could carve immaculate figures in
Well, look at the monk. I mean, they had various animals.
But yet they paint a stick figure. They paint a stick figure waving.
People just, want to just believe or stick to, what they've been spoon-fed or force-fed by their, religious leaders and, by society in a whole. I mean, look at the majority of society here being in Indiana, for say, white Christian, kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I was around, Southern Baptists, so that was interesting enough. I mean, everything you did, you're going to hell.
I grew up Catholic, man. When I went to church and I saw it was ritualistic, drinking blood and shit. I was petrified.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole the act of communion.
Did you hear the Len Horowitz tape with the duct tape and the ketchup or blood?
No.
You didn't hear that?
That doesn't sound familiar now.
Listen. You got Len Horowitz, right? He was supposed to be on like the Don Pickle show. I don't know his fucking name. He's waiting there in the hotel room. He left the phone off the hook accidentally. You hear all this sadomasochism going on, duct tape going, and the girl's like, I'm going to get the ketchup. I'm getting the ketchup. She's like, not too much in my eye. It burns, because he's simulating the blood. And you even hear like, what might be sodomy. It's hard to make out. And then you hear this lady on the phone. She's calling in and they, she's stuck there on the line calling into the show, Don something show that Len Horowitz was going to be on. And she's like, hello. And they're in the background. You hear the duct tape and shit. And, she's just sitting there, hello. And then Len Horowitz finally gets on the phone. This is when you know it's Len. Otherwise, it sounds just like some dude. He gets on the phone. He's like, hello? And she's like, yeah, you hang up the phone. You didn't hang up the phone. He's like, yeah, I just got in here. Wait. And he was trying to totally act like it wasn't him. And she was like, I heard it was you and you were talking not so nice to your friend there. Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
It's over on Iconicast. It's great.
Oh, that sounds
tears
funny.
laughing my ass off.
But speaking about the,
you guys never heard that.
I heard it. I heard it.
I went
That's
to.
why I'm laughing so hard.
When I was younger, I went to a Catholic church where they did the whole, body of Christ and blood ritual.
Yeah, it frightened me.
And you know what? You know what?
This is his blood.
I gagged on the flesh of Christ, and I asked for a second cup of blood.
That doesn't sound too good, bro.
I had to ask for a second cup of blood because I gagged on, so I don't know what that, if that's gonna, ruin me from now on. Maybe I should edit that out of the podcast. I don't know. I think I'm like a devil worshiper because I gagged on the flesh of Christ.
Let's really think about that.
It was really easy now, Donna. It was.
Well, I just want to interject. How many real Satanists, those that carry the banner of Satanists, in contrast to Christians, have killed in mass? Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, but continue. I'm sorry.
It was a really horrible tasting cracker. It was really bland, and I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You choked on the matzo? No. And yeah, the cracker and the juice, you know, thing. They did it in our, was it the Baptist church that we had, and some of the other derivatives of, you know, Christianity, the different churches that I went to. And it's like, why are we doing this now? Now I understand, you know, the concept of the last memorial, what the, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses call the memorial dinner, you know, the Last Supper there. But, I mean, what's the real purpose in doing that? I mean, it's not really saving your soul. I mean, and why this weird ritual? I mean...
All I know is I didn't want to go back because I didn't want to eat another cracker. And I didn't. I didn't go back.
Well, now some places only reserve that for those that have been saved and baptized in the Spirit.
I was baptized when I was a baby. Yeah, that's what I was told. I don't remember it.
Forced baptism.
Yeah, I was circumcised when I was 13. It was so painful.
I was circumcised twice. Here we go. Boy, we're digging into it.
I don't remember it, thank God.
Twice.
But I am property of the chosen people, apparently.
You know what my dad said?
I never understood why Christians did that. Really? I'm like, come on.
You know what my dad said? I was circumcised twice so I wouldn't be as big as him.
Oh.
Twice.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible to get done twice.
Well, it's horrible, the fact that they want to do it in the first place of all. I mean, you're talking about a baby, you know, your male children that, you know, born healthy and perfect. And you want to go doing that? What kind of sick savagery is that? I mean, give me a break. And you know, how our society looks at other societies, like in Africa, where a female circumcision is going on. And we're like, oh, we can't believe, you know, they do that to the little girls. But we turn around and do it to the little boys of this nation with no real religious affiliation to why that ritual is being done in the first place, and it having no medical benefit, you know, to have that procedure done to a child.
Boy, no topic is safe here on the Irritate the State podcast.
Just, once again, society's ass backwards when it comes to that. I mean, you know, that's just my view. I mean,
you notice that when you were talking about that horrible thing called circumcision, the two males here in this podcast shut the hell up. It's just the
well, I mean, you guys
about.
are both victims of it.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently, I mean, as you say,
double jeopardy with me.
I don't know from any personal experience or anything, but I mean, you know, and it's a common medical procedure that they do now at the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that, you know, like, you know, pre-50, 45. But then the medical establishment was basically taken over by the Judaism, which is Satanism. And they why would you want to play with a little boy's penis at birth? The same reason they want to inject them with, and I don't mean any particular religion or race, infants with, you know, two times what a 250-pound man should have done to him. They want to do this in the first 18 months.
Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. You know, there's the beginning of the of the engineering, the social engineering process. As soon as they come out, we're gonna lobotomize them with all of these chemicals and
blueprint.
toxins.
You read the blueprint. Bertrand Russell, diet, injection, injunction. Mm-hmm. Create the perfect slave.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's and then as they get a little older, they've been. If their parents are properly indoctrinated, then they're getting their regular shots, and then they get into school, and all they want to do is get that little emotional pat on the head from the teacher, and they strive to be able to memorize little facts or little, not really even facts, little dates and instead of learning
tidbits.
They learn how to memorize, which is all testing.
Repeat.
Repeat.
If you can repeat what you were taught, then that's how you get your certificate.
And they've done studies that show that students who do very well on tests usually don't think too far outside the box, if at all. Mm-hmm. And those who did very poorly on tests, and I have to admit, I was one of them. There was always a note on my report card, participates in class, does poorly on tests and quizzes. That was always it, because I couldn't repeat the shit back. I was completely bored with it to begin with, so I'm not going to remember shit that doesn't, send off the little light bulb. Ooh, oh, I like that. Oh, nothing. Yeah. It didn't intrigue me. I was bored shitless, so I didn't remember what they were telling me. It's a natural reaction. Nowadays, they call that ADD.
Yeah. When they try to drill something into you that you're just not receptive to, and you don't give a shit about, it's frivolous. They could have, kids in med school in, ninth grade. But yet they want to drag it out, and as they drag it out, they dumb them down. The curriculum, the social promotion. There's people in 12th grade in cities across America who can't even read at they graduate and they can't even read at an 8th grade level.
Yeah, graduate and can't even find any one of the 3 countries we're occupying on a globe.
Yeah. Or even the adults, even the college grads can't do that.
Yeah, right.
They can't even name the Secretary of Defense or whatever. I mean, because, MTV, Viacom is it's like a fucking tentacle and about 1,000 of them. From your Viacoms to your Lifetimes to your A&Es and military channels and Discovery, all owned by the same cats, all of them. Every 567 channel is owned by 5 people, 5 interests, give or take. There used to be. Remember the, Democracy Now! And Free Speech TV and shit. Pre 9/11, that was my go-to stuff. Mm-hmm. Amy Badwoman, as she's now called. I used to love that lady, but post 9/11, but they were all from the gate funded by Ford Foundation, that Pacifica group, even PBS, Ford Foundation, CIA, Rockefeller Center, Carnegie.
Yeah, just look at all the names, as sponsors of this foundation, that foundation, that fund.
This has been an Annenberg production.
It's
Rand
right there.
Corporation, Rand Corporation was deep into public television.
Oh, yeah.
And shit early.
They have their think tanks and everything.
But people like Bill Moyers, that guy did some in-depth CIA mind control shit. He like the real journalism, like ABC did a CIA expose shortly after they were purchased by Capital Cities, the news division, which was a CIA front.
You get that truth out there. Anything to buy it and put it off the shelf, you know.
We remember Geraldo. You know, he did a JFK, in-depth JFK, a Bill O'Reilly. Remember, you ever see that Inside Edition clip?
Yeah. Yeah,
that dude, it just shows you what money, bribery, and outright threats, blackmail can do.
Indeed.
I'm of the mind the FBI taps everything, people of importance that have sway, shall they choose to go a certain way. And like Spitzer, especially in politics, you know, like the Elliot Spitzer cat, they were tapping him forever. And when he refused to play ball, they had a whole bunch of dirt on him. You know, he's paying $5,000 a day at an Israeli brothel. And apparently he was about to blow the whistle on something. You know, these people get upset. People fuck them, and they know information, and they're ready to blow the whistle, but they don't. They don't quite make it. How about David Kelly, that poor guy, that microbiologist cat out in England? He was writing, "They're going to murder me. They're going to murder me in the woods." Just how, and you know, he winds up murdered in the woods. Scientists who probably created some bioweapons, you know, inadvertently. You know, they probably had him work on shit compartmentalized, and once he knew that his job was complete, and he, you know, remotely was going to blow the whistle, they fucking murdered him. The microbiologist had been missing. That's a conundrum I've never even gotten. You know, I haven't scratched the surface on that. We're talking about. Yeah, tons of them that just going missing under suspicious circumstances.
Did anybody ever find out what happened to, let's say, Joseph Moshe, for instance? I mean,
no.
Speaking of missing scientists, I mean...
Not that I know of.
You know, only last thing I remember is him being, you know, gassed and yanked out of his car.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to smoke a cigarette and take a nap.
Busy day with the youngin' today, huh?
Yeah. My fiance just calmed down on me. She's at that, and plus I got to be extra cautious here because she's sleeping in our bed, and I'll tell you, man, it takes 3 seconds for her to come off the edge. These days, she'll climb 3 pillows in 3 seconds.
And you know,
we used to put the pillows up for her, right? They would work fine, and then it seems like the next, you know, one day, she just she's over.
Fast.
Yeah.
Blake and I, and they're 15.
Yeah, right. It's
all
great.
right, guys. This was a pleasure.
Well,
you know, just getting to speak with you guys again. It's been too long.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we covered. I've been making a list, you know, of things that we touched on, and I'm about 3/4 down a sheet of notebook paper on, you know, some of the things that we touched on. Everything.
Cool. That's how we do it.
Yeah, it appears that way that we've touched on.
And it could appear, you know, people are, you know, we're all over the place, but you gotta be.
Yeah, one thing leads to another. You know, that's
so wide. It's so all encompassing.
Mm-hmm. But yes, thank you very much, Payday and Donna, for hanging out late. It was a last minute thing, but I figure I better catch you now. You hit me up.
Yeah, that was a good
Skype.
impromptu. Like, I was hoping that we could come on and I'd catch you at an opportune time where we could talk.
Well, you certainly did. So
that was 3 hours, though, for real?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what Audacity is telling me.
Yeah, if you need any help, like condensing that, are you just going to put the whole? Can you do that? That's a long.
It is. I've put 2-hour shows up on YouTube. It lets me do that. So, but yeah, there's some some parts that I will be not speaking parts, little
the
moments
dead air.
of silence and
If you need help with that, if you can throw me the audio file, I'll do that. But yeah,
awesome,
whatever.
Awesome. Well, Payday, you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Get some sleep. I'm sure you have a busy day tomorrow with the little one again. And I just want to
maybe.
I just want to say you have one of the scariest pictures on Skype as your picture that I've ever seen.
Violated.
The Pope?
Yes, it is horrifying. So I really, no offense, but I want to get you off the damn call so I don't have to look at it anymore. I've kept my Skype minimized because, well, quite frankly, I'm not too far out of bed either, and I can see nightmares in my future. Thank you. It's like
nightmares from the Pope. He looks rather sadistic. I want to take it down, but I don't.
You won't get many phone calls though on Skype with that picture. I can tell you that. But anyway, thank you very much, Payday.
Be in touch.
All right, take care, my
Peace
friend.
Out.
All right, Donna, I'm gonna close it out here. What a conversation that we had. Well, I mean, my goodness, I knew that's how it was gonna start. We start with one thing, and it's like a spider web. It's like a spider web of information. Yeah. We have 3 heads here, and all of us are, have maybe taken paths or areas of study in particular, looked more into that, and just to all come together, bounce ideas, bounce information off each other. It was great. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for having me, man. I love talking to Payday.
Yes. I as soon as he said that he would hop on with us, and I was like, well, let me go get Donna, because I knew that you'd want to hop on and talk. So, yeah, this is going to take some editing here. I'm going to edit it all up, and within the next day or so, I'm going to try and get it up on YouTube where everybody can listen. So, good night, everyone. IrritateState.net, defineforyou.com, and we'll see you very soon.